Dave, I had a really interesting conversation with one of my former bosses that I used to research for an AEI scholar named Ed Connard. And he was saying on the tariffs, economically, he doesn't like them. But he was saying in some ways, it was actually Trump was the most courageous to actually get more revenue relative to what our deficit spending. Because he said, the Doge didn't pan out the way that they promised to cut the spending. And so in order to close that deficit, it actually diffused the cost of the spending to more people through tariffs. And in that way, it was actually going to be a way to close the deficit, which it has. The deficit has closed relative to this time last year. So
Uh,
I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm
I
just
cannot
saying
agree
that
with
it
that, but
is
anyway.
an interesting analysis to say that from a tax increase, it's more diffuse versus what Mitt Romney said in his op-ed in the New York Times this week, which made me sad. He said, we need to increase taxes on the wealthy only, whereas essentially tariffs are kind of diffusing that. It's more realistic in a way, is what he was saying.
Well, I think here's the thing with tariffs. Even if you can argue that they could be a good idea, which I think is debatable, it's not. It's more the disorganized, haphazard, inconsistent way that they've been applied. That's done more damage than the tariffs themselves, right? Because let's think about it. We have Liberation Day. The bond market finally starts to crater. Even Scott Bessent says, "Okay, you got to back up," so he backs off. Our allies and our trading partners don't know which way is going on. China, of course, is loving it because people now, even though they may not agree with China's policies, view them as a much more reliable trading partner. So, and the tariff against China is only 20% now. So that's not taking a dent. And the one that really gets me, we're now selling our most high-tech NVIDIA chips to China, which is the one thing we said we would never do. So it's the inconsistency. That's one of the reasons the job market is down. That's one of the reasons the economy isn't doing better. And on top of that, he's basically said, well, you can have it all, but not paying for it. What presidents used to do is they'd say, hey, we're going to have a tough period here. So if you sacrifice with me for a little while, there'll be a brighter skies ahead. And American people are willing to do that. But you haven't seen any of that here.
But Dave, what I don't, if you even see this though, some of these economists that have said that, this horrible recession was going to happen because of tariffs, they're stepping back. I mean, I've seen numerous articles even in the last 2 weeks that are saying, wait, the recession didn't happen. It didn't happen. So there was a lot of fear among tariffs. Listen, of course it should have been done better. But remember last time, the first Trump administration, everyone criticized him for even doing those type of tariffs. And then when Biden came in, he never took one back. So there was this thought of him, because it is so chaotic, and because I guess, Carrie, what you were saying is because he did have kind of, quote, the courage. I mean, no one else was going to be able to do it, right or wrong. But also, let's think, if this Supreme Court here case comes back and we have to start giving people back their money. I mean, we were talking about this week. I represent a huge retailer. We were talking, if they get that money back from tariffs, they're going to start doing rebates for people. I mean, the chaos of that's going to be insane. So I don't know what's going to happen.